A Heart for the Homeless, page 58. Why are you telling me this stuff? What gives you the right to even have an opinion about my business or how I run it, or what I even do with my time? Chad looked chagrined. Yeah, you're right. I don't have a right. I hardly know you. You hardly do. But I like you. Oh, I don't know if I like you. Usually when a person likes someone, they don't tell them their whole life's work is silly and useless. At least in my world. It's not a very good way to make friends. Chad looked concerned. Your work with the rescue group isn't silly and useless. And maybe dog pampering isn't either. I really don't know. Pampering is going to be a hard sell in this town, that's all. Yeah, well, thanks for your totally unqualified opinion. I could have stayed home to hear it from my father and my sister. Thanks for dinner. Good night. Getting out, she slammed the door of his truck. That was that. She stomped down the street toward home. Chad pulled up alongside her and put down the window. Dorie, I'm sorry. You're right, that was out of line. At least let me drive you the rest of the way home. It's late. She hesitated. You're sorry? He nodded. I'm sorry I upset you. You're sorry you upset me? Are you sorry you told me how to run my business and my life? She was incensed. He looked confused. I said I'm sorry, didn't I? But I still think my advice is good. Oh, you... Are you pointing that video camera at me? Go on, just go. Dorie huffed, pulled up her collar, and stomped off toward home. The truck followed her for a moment and then took off in the other direction, tires squealing. Good. Don't come back. Chapter 3. Chad went back to Saint Jacques early Monday morning. The twisty road off the peninsula took a little attention, but when he got to the highway, he lost himself in thinking about where things with Dorie had gone so wrong. He liked her. He really did. But she had crazy ideas. Why did she ever think something like her pampered pooches would fly? Local folks had hunting dogs, working dogs, not pups that needed pampering. He pushed the thought of frou-frou out of his mind. Plus, he had apologized when he made her mad. What else did she want? He hadn't meant to make her mad. In fact, he really wanted her to like him, helping her out. That was what you did with people you cared about, right? That girl. Oh, she had the sweetest smile, but when she was mad, that went away in a heartbeat. He recalled uncomfortably the grim set of her lips when he gave her his advice about her business. I thought she'd like to hear the truth. But he really knew better. Nan had put it to him plainly. Quit with the advice. Nobody likes to be told that their idea is a bad one. He wondered miserably if Dorie would ever talk to him again. Parking on the street in front of his building, he sighed. Good one, Chad. Nice work. Another nice girl, alienated. He pulled his duffel from the back of the truck and headed upstairs. Dorie sat at the counter in her shop, staring at a pile of envelopes in front of her. Why had she waited so long to pick up her mail at the post office? Avoidance, that was why. The last batch of mail had held her eviction notice. The building was being sold. She had 30 days to move out, and she had no stomach for more bad news. So she just didn't pick up her mail. Well, until today. She sorted the flyers into the trash, but stopped when she got to a thick, creamy envelope. Uh-oh, she thought, looking at the return address. The bank. Grimly, she slit the envelope and pulled out the heavy paper. Her eyes widened as she read down the page. She slid off her stool, letting the paper fall to the floor. Ah! Never any good news. What next? She shouted into the empty room. She stomped across the floor to look out the door. This is so stupid. The mid-morning street outside was empty of pedestrians, and only one car carefully traced a path down the lane. Dorie watched it until it was out of sight, the distraction only lasting a minute. Stomping back to the counter, she picked up her phone. But who to call? Before she could decide, the bell on the door jangled. Andrea Chase walked in. Where did she come from? The street had been empty. Oh, there you are, Dorie, Andrea said in her crisp, authoritative way. I'm glad you're in. I've got a situation and I need your help. What's going on? Dorie gave the creamy sheet on the floor a despairing glance and then focused on Andrea. Another animal hoarding situation on a farm about 12 kilometers from here. Someone called it in on the tip line overnight. The tip line? At County Rescue? I didn't know Bark was involved. Andrea's organization kept pressure on the government to legislate safety for dogs. Andrea went on. I was going to investigate, but Bark's policy is that we don't go alone when we're checking things out. I need you to come too. Dorie felt her forehead wrinkle. Investigate? Why not animal control or county rescue or the police? I didn't know Bark did investigations. Andrea stood very straight. We will call the police if we find evidence of a problem. I just can't call in based on an anonymous tip on the phone. Dorie puzzled over that. The police followed tips too, so why not let them do their job? But no, well, Andrea had been in this business for a long time. She knows what she's doing, so checking a tip out is more fun than trying to solve my money problems. Yeah, sure, Andrea. There's nothing happening at the Pampered Pooch this morning. My next appointment's on Thursday, Dorie remarked grimly, flipping pages in her appointment book. I can go with you. She pushed the offending letter under the counter with her toe, grabbed her jacket, and locked the shop door behind her.